To hook the chicken hat. Loop 6 short needles with white thread. Put the string on your hand and wrap it around your middle finger. Use the thick end of a crochet hook. Go through the loop you just wound and pull the wire out. And then wrap it around again. Pull the wire through the coil. Then wind the wire again. This is the first short stitch. Put a marker on the first pin. Pull the wire out through the coil. The winding is the second short needle. 3, 4, 5, 6. Count the stitches on the side, and then take it down. Pull the first thread. Tighten it up. Then remove the marker. Put the crochet stitch through the one that made the mark. Put the back end on the crochet hook. Then pull the wire. Hook a drawing needle. To draw is to pass through all the coils on the needle. Pull it over and hook a standing pin. Pull the short end of the thread once the hook is in place. Tighten the initial coil. Receive without a hole in the middle. Tie the wire when you tighten it. Start the second loop. The second round is 6 short pins and needles. See if the first stitch is still on top of the stitch that was just drawn. Wrap it around and put a line on it. This is the first stitch of the second lap. Put a mark on the needle. 同一个针目，我们还要再钩一针。Out winding. 2 short stitches in one eye. It's just a short needle and a needle. Then the second stitch. Hook the first short stitch. And then the same needle inside. Hook another. Wind the thread behind the 2 short needles. All the way through the needle. Put it on the needle this long second loop. Now that the hook is in place and the first stitch is on this one, there are 2 small spines in the middle of the position. It's the lead up on the first lap. There is no need to connect these 2 stitches with these 2 stitches. Let's take the mark off. Go to the spot where you made the mark. Don't worry about the thread in the back. Hook a drawing pin. End and end together. When you're done, pull the draw pin tight. It's a stitch behind the coil on the needle now. You can see that I've pulled it tight here. Pull small. Because this drawing needle does not need to hook. When you're done, hook a standing pin through it. Make the rise pin smaller, too. Okay, after the third lap just now. 1 short stitch, 1 plus stitch in a group. There are 6 groups to check. It's on the same stitch that we just pulled. Start the first stitch of the third loop. 一个短针. Hook the first short pin to make the marker. Novice friends must be on the first stitch of each circle. Fasten the marker button. It'll make it easier to find the first stitch when you get back. And then 1 stitch at a time, 1 stitch at a time. Make another short stitch in the same stitch. It's just a plus pin. Such a short one adds up to a group. The second set starts with a short stitch. And then the next stitch is another one. Pull it out and pull the needle tight. And then the fourth flap. After drawing, hook a standing pin. The fourth flap is 7 long pins. Start with 7 long stitches. The first stitch should be drawn in the same position as before. A long needle just goes around the needle once, and then thread it through and draw it out at these points that you just pulled. Now there are 3 coils on the needle. Wind the thread through the first 2 coils on the needle. Now there are 2 more on the needle. Then wind the wire through the last 2 coils. So that's a long needle. We're inside the V behind the coil on the needle. That's its first stitch. To hook the plus button, it's a long needle. Then wind the thread on the needle. The next stitch will go in. Draw out 3 coils. Wind the wire through the first 2. Wind the wire through the latter 2. Second long needle. Then 2 long needles plus a needle wound the thread. Hook 2 long stitches in the same eye. 1 and then wind the wire. Still in the same stitch. Too good. That's 2 long needles plus a needle. You can see it's a little tighter than the other needles. After that, hook all long needles and wind the thread. 1, 2, 3, 5, 5 and then for short stitches. A short needle does not need to be wound. Just hook 2 of them. 3, 4. For short needles, hook 1 circle and the hook is finished. To connect with the first pin, draw. Then hook a standing pin. Next comes the 5th flap. A rise pin. Then hook another one. The 5th flap. It's just 2 braid pins. Braid needle is also called lock needle, also known as a standing needle. The name is different, but the hook is the same. Next are 2 long needles. A long needle is made by winding the needle twice. Do this twice. It's in the eye of the drawing. Put it in and draw it out. Now there are 4 coils on the needle. First, wind the wire through the first 2 coils. There are 3 coils on the body. Then wind the wire through the first 2 coils. Be careful to pull the whole thread through when you wear it. The first 2 and now 2 more to go through the back 2. This is a long needle. To hook 2, wind the wire twice more. To the next stitch. There are 4 coils through the needle. Wind the wire through the first 2. Then wind the wire through the first 2. Go through it and then wind it through the first 2. Long needle hook finish RF. Hook 2 more long pins. A long needle is a circle. Then hook 2 medium and long pins. Come in a circle. There are 3 coils on the needle. Wind the wire through 3 coils at once. This is a medium length needle. You have to hook it before winding. Hook it and then hook it through 3 coils. These are the 2 medium length needles. Then 2 short needles. Just hook 1 without winding. Then a short stitch and a stitch. 2 short stitches in the same eye. Next 2 short stitches. To medium long needle winding. Then check 2 more. long needle winding. 1 and 2 and then wind. The long needle is threaded through the first 2 coils in turn. Then the 2 long needles are wound twice. The last 3. K3 is just 3 empty stitches and there's no hook here. Next up are 2 standing pins. 2 braid pins. Turn around when you're done. And then the 6th flap. Turn around and hook the long needles around it. Start hooking on the 3rd one, the first long needle. 2 more loops and then another stitch. Then 2 long needles. Then 2 medium-length needles are wound through at once. One pass. Medium and long needles row, short needles. Two medium and long needles. 1, 2. Then 2 long needles. 2. Then 2 long needles. Two. 好了以后 after that 是 braid pins. Turn it over. Take our capybara for comparison. I wonder if she braids can fit right here. Pull it to the other side. Just she braids if you can. If you can't reach it, I can set up 2 more braids. Thread the first stitch to the other side. Press the line and come out. Straight away is a pole pin to put it. Draw and then hook a standing pin. Leave about 50 centimeters. Cut the thread and pick it out. So the chin strap here gets sucked in. The other side of the edge. Tighten the innermost end of the thread a little bit and cut it. Thread the length of the thread you just left onto the needle. The smooth edge side is its front. This is near the back of the spiral. Here's the back of it. Take the back rope and run it around the bottom. Dress like this. Trim the edges. Just sew it with a needle that goes right through the edge. When it's on the side, thread the thread through it again. Just pick up a little thread inside. Hide the thread. Cut off any excess thread. So the body of the chicken head is hooked. Cut out a small piece of yellow thread. It's about 50 centimeters long. Bring it to my hand and look at it. The ends are about the same length. Then hook 3 braid pins. Just turn it around and then wrap it around. First tie a knot. Wind the wire and hook the top coil. This is the first braid pin. Hook it here. That's 2, 3. Divide the 3 braid pins. And then pull it a little bit. Cut out some red, too. Hook 3 braid pins. Same mouth as before. Start with a loop and tie a knot. And then you take out 1, 2, 3. Put your mouth on and keep the lines of your mouth together. Thread it through the needle. Then he wears it halfway between the first and second loops of his hat. You can pinch it like this. Find him in the middle here. Then wear it down together. Just look right in the middle and come through. Turn it over when you come through. Take out a glue stick and bake it with a lighter. Be careful not to burn your hands. Freshly baked glue is hot. Then apply to the base of the yellow line. Click a little. Glue the roots firmly. Then cut off any excess thread. Then the eyes are above the mouth. If there's a little burr behind the eye, cut it. Put it on either side of your mouth. Find yourself a suitable position. Use scissors to cut out the longer eye posts. Hold your finger down here. Don't let your eyes fall out. Then bake the glue. Apply glue under your eyes. Glue it on. Same thing over here. Let it dry a little bit. Press it with your hand. Next came his comb. Fixation to the head. Take a look in the middle. The side of the first loop goes in. Put one on first. The other end here at 1 and 2. Make sure you wear it in the middle. Glue the thread on the inside. Root coating. Then click. Cement. Cut off any excess threads. If you have blush or lipstick, you can put a little on both cheeks of the chick. Just put it on the head of the capybara.